Who's ready to party? Welcome to the RadCast, the only podcast that ever has or ever will exist. I am, of course, your host, the ultimate radass, Jet Dade, and have I got an episode for you this week. We're going to be starting off with, of course, Call It in the Back, followed by another segment of Rad or Ass. Following that, tonight we've got a special guest, Dirtsheet reporter Brett Stedman, who has an absolute scoop in the world of wrestling, exclusively for the RadCast. Don't go anywhere. Call It in the Back right after the break.
Telephone line, give me some time. I'm living in twilight.
Welcome back to the RadCast and another edition of Call It in the Back, segment where a fan calls in and asks a question or my opinion on something, and I try to answer it to the best of my abilities. Now today we've got Michael from Plano, Texas. What you got for me, Mike?
Jet Dade. My name is Michael. You don't get to know my last name. I'm sick, and I'm on my deathbed. I don't have much time, but hopefully this message finds you in a good spot.
Yep.
Hopefully on your podcast. And my question to you is,
Spit it out, Mike.
how do you sit on the toilet? Do you sit sideways?
Now damn it, Mike. If that even is your real name, you have the gall, the audacity to prank call Jet Dade's RadCast? I don't even think you're really dying. But you know what? When you prank call Jet Dade's RadCast, you potentially have made your life a whole lot shorter. I know people, Mike. I know people in dark places, around dark street corners, in dark alleys. So if you are not really laying in your deathbed, Michael, you may want to look out, because nobody crosses Jet Dade and gets away with it. But if this was a legitimate question, I just sit on the toilet normal. More RadCast after the break.
Watching the tide roll away. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
Welcome back to the RadCast and another edition of Rad or Ass, a segment where I ask your opinion on a topic and whether you think something is great or awful, hence Rad or Ass. If you want to be a part of Rad or Ass, participate in the polls, go ahead and follow at @TheJetDade on Instagram. Now tonight we are looking at unsweetened tea that has in fact no sweetening substance mixed into it. Also, quick shout out to Gold Peak Tea, who is not sponsoring this segment, but I've pretty much been a voluntary spokesperson for them for about a decade now. I absolutely love it. Great product, but that's neither here nor there. On Instagram, you all said unsweet tea is ass. Now, while it wasn't very close, I do just want to take a look at some of the benefits of unsweet tea. Okay? First of all, you got to ask the question, what kind of tea are we talking here? We talking green tea? We talking herbal tea? Now, the picture that was used was simply unsweetened black tea, so I think we have to go with that. Okay, set that as the parameter. Now, the health benefits are obvious. Black tea has quite a few antioxidants. All right, so that's good. It lacks the immense volume of sugar that is often found in sweet tea, especially in the Deep South. I mean, if you've ever seen sweet tea be made, you know exactly how much sugar is dumped into that pitcher. And if you're from the South, you know at least one person who probably goes a little bit overboard. You look at sweet, you look at unsweet. At the end of the day, bottom line is, unsweet tea just tastes like dirt water. That shit is trash. Absolutely. Bar none, full stop, period, garbage. Right? Now, some crackpot out there might be talking to their screen right now saying, hey, it's the same taste as sweet tea, just without all the sugar. No, wrong. Don't watch my podcast. Cut your internet out right now. Stop paying the bill, because you are insane, sir. Okay? You think it tastes the same just without all the sugar? Yeah. All right. Next time you want a Mountain Dew, just drink a club soda. You maniac. All right? Unsweet tea, total ass.
Sweetness, I was only joking when I said I'd like to smash every tooth in your head.
Welcome back to the RadCast. Some people have brought it to my attention that the RadCast may not have enough wrestling-related content. And I get it, okay? Jet Dade, a wrestler in training, has a podcast. Isn't a wrestling podcast, per se. Makes your brain hurt, right? People are supposed to be one-dimensional, blah, 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 cry, cry, cry. But as ungrateful as you are, I hear you. So tonight I've hired a special contributor. Lead reporter for Wrestling Internet Media Paragon, Brett Stedman. Brett, what have you got for us?
Thanks, Jet. Brett Stedman here, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at the top news stories in wrestling. Now, unfortunately, it was a slow news week, so would you like a legitimate story or one I've totally fabricated?
Well, I think maybe a real one.
Okay. Well, let's see here. WWE being sold, big signing for AEW, no. Oh, wait a second. Why didn't I think of this? I got an exclusive interview with a huge wrestling superstar 2 days ago.
Yeah, sounds great. Let's hear that one.
You will, because it's audio only.
Well, this is a podcast, so.
Well, all right. Let me just find the file.
So what's that, you got a Dell or?
Found it. Okay, this is Brett Stedman for WIMP. I'm standing outside the house of a huge wrestling superstar. It took me a while to get over the fence after security wouldn't open the gate, so I'm a little behind schedule here. It's already 4:53 a.m. I'm getting ready to go in. I've got my notepad and pen handy and a bunch of hard-hitting questions. Let's do this. Who's your next opponent? Why aren't you in the title scene? Is it true you're going to retire soon? There's rumors you're going to Japan.
Hey, man, who the hell are you?
I'm Brett Stedman, lead reporter
Hell, not
for...
really.
Okay, I'm being chased out right now. He was clearly dodging my questions, but I got a gold watch.
Brett, holy hell, what was that?
That's what you call journalism at its finest.
Did I just hear you admit to stealing a gold watch?
Listen, I don't know where you heard that from. You really can't trust the media these days, but who you can trust is Brett Stedman. And I'll tell you what, if the price is right, you can get scoops like these on a weekly basis right here on the RadCast.
Listen, man, I don't...
Actually, before you say anything, I've got a court date in about 2 weeks, so I won't be available at that time. And then depending on how that goes, I may be quite low on availability for the next 5 to 10 years. But next week, I've got a video of an up-and-coming wrestler in a very embarrassing predicament.
Is that my house? Welcome back to the RadCast. Hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. And you know, Marcus Aurelius once said that nothing is worth doing pointlessly. I think there's a bit of a double meaning in that. from one angle, and I believe the original intent of old Marky Mark was that there are, of course, things in our lives that can't be controlled. Random events, outcomes, other people's opinions, plenty of external things that we have little to no bearing over. I think most people would agree that it's pointless to worry yourself over something that you can't control or affect, even if that may be easier said than done. Thus, since it's pointless, it's not worth doing. But I think another broader angle is that if you're doing anything, really, and you don't have any reason to, or there's just no point to it, it's not really worth the action that it takes to do in the first place. Now, that's not to say that there can't be vague or abstract reasons that are still valid, of course. Even if the point of something happens to just be sheer enjoyment. Sometimes that's enough of a reason to engage in that activity. I think at the end of the day, it's up to you to determine if the reasoning is valid to yourself. If your reason is up to snuff with your own standards. And you got to be honest with yourself if it's not. But at the very least, I think it's worth taking the time to examine the things you're doing, right? To figure out, is there a good reason that I'm doing this? Or am I just doing it pointlessly? More RadCast after the break.
Each step is moving, it's moving me up. Moving, it's moving me up. Every step is moving me up.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the RadCast. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions about this episode or the RadCast in general, hit me up on Twitter and or Instagram at the Jet Dade. I love hearing from you guys, and please hit the subscribe button to this YouTube channel to make sure you never miss an episode of the RadCast. I have been your host, the ultimate radass, Jet Dade, signing off.
Every step is moving me up. Each step is moving.